For thousands of years, people have searched for a lost city, a place of immense beauty, power, and mystery. Its name echoes through the ages: Atlantis. This legendary island, described by the ancient Greek philosopher Plato, was said to have disappeared beneath the waves in a single day and night of misfortune. A cataclysm of unimaginable scale that wiped an entire civilization off the map. But what if Atlantis wasn't just a myth? What if the story passed down by Plato wasn't just a cautionary tale, but the fragmented memory of a real civilization, one that vanished over 12,000 years ago? Today, we're diving deep into one of history's greatest enigmas. We'll separate fact from fiction, explore groundbreaking theories, and examine evidence that suggests the legend of Atlantis might be rooted in a forgotten chapter of human history. The story begins with Plato, around 360 BC. In his dialogues, Timaeus and Critias, he tells the tale of a powerful and advanced kingdom that existed 9,000 years before his time. That places Atlantis around 11,600 years ago. According to the account, which Plato claimed originated from ancient Egyptian priests, Atlantis was an island larger than Libya and Asia combined, located beyond the Pillars of Hercules, what we now know as the Strait of Gibraltar. The Atlanteans were described as a noble and powerful race, descended from Poseidon, the god of the sea. Their capital city was a marvel of engineering, composed of concentric rings of land and water, connected by canals and bridges. At its center stood a magnificent temple dedicated to Poseidon, covered in silver and with pinnacles of gold. The island was rich in natural resources, including a mysterious metal called orichalcum, said to shine with a fiery red light. For generations, the Atlanteans lived in harmony and prosperity. But as their power grew, so did their ambition and greed. They became corrupt, waging war against their neighbors. Finally, according to Plato, the gods decided to punish them. Earthquakes and floods of extraordinary violence struck the island, and in one terrible day and night, the great civilization of Atlantis was swallowed by the sea, vanishing forever. For centuries, most scholars dismissed Plato's account as a fable, an allegory to illustrate his political theories about the ideal state versus a corrupt one. It was a morality tale about the dangers of hubris and imperial overreach. But what if there's more to it? Could a story with such specific details, geographical location, the city's layout, even the timing of its destruction, be entirely made up? The search for the real Atlantis has captivated explorers, historians, and adventurers for centuries. The problem is, Plato is our only primary source, and while he gives a location, beyond the Pillars of Hercules, in the Atlantic Ocean, the ocean floor there has been extensively mapped, and no evidence of a sunken continent has ever been found. This has led researchers to look elsewhere, reinterpreting Plato's clues. One of the most compelling theories points not to the Atlantic, but to the Mediterranean. Around 1600 BC, the island of Thera, now known as Santorini, was home to the highly advanced Minoan civilization. Thera was a bustling trade hub with magnificent frescoes, paved streets, and multi-story buildings. Then, it was ripped apart by one of the largest volcanic eruptions in human history. The eruption was cataclysmic. It blew the center out of the island, creating the massive caldera we see today. It triggered enormous tsunamis that would have devastated coastal communities across the Mediterranean, including the main Minoan centers on the island of Crete. The ash cloud would have blocked out the sun, leading to crop failures and a volcanic winter. The Minoan civilization, once a dominant power, went into a rapid decline from which it never recovered. The parallels are striking. A powerful island civilization destroyed by a natural disaster, disappearing almost overnight. The circular shape of the Santorini caldera even resembles Plato's description of the concentric rings of the Atlantean capital. Could the story of Thera's destruction have been passed down through generations, its details morphing over time, until it reached Egyptian priests and eventually Plato? But other theories take us much further back in time, closer to Plato's original date of 11,600 years ago. This period marks the end of the last ice age, a time of dramatic climate change and rising sea levels. As the massive ice sheets covering North America and Europe melted, global sea levels rose by hundreds of feet, submerging vast coastal areas that were once dry land. Could Atlantis have been one of these coastal civilizations, lost to the rising tides? Proponents of this idea point to submerged structures found all over the world. The Yonaguni Monument off the coast of Japan, for example, is a massive underwater rock formation with seemingly man-made features like flat terraces and sharp right angles. While many geologists argue it's a natural formation, others insist it's the remnant of a lost city. Similarly, in the Gulf of Kambat off the coast of India, sonar surveys in 2002 revealed what appeared to be the foundations of a huge city, stretching for miles, now 120 feet below the surface. Carbon dating of artifacts recovered from the site, including wood and pottery, suggested they could be up to 9,500 years old, placing them right in the time frame of Plato's Atlantis. Then there's the Bimini Road in the Bahamas. This underwater rock formation consists of large, rectangular limestone blocks arranged in a neat line. For decades, people have claimed it's a remnant of an Atlantean road or wall, while geologists largely agree it's a natural phenomenon called beach rock. The mystery and the allure persist. What all these theories have in common is the idea of a lost civilization, a culture that existed before the dawn of what we traditionally consider history. For a long time, historians believed that complex societies only began to emerge with the rise of Sumer and Mesopotamia around 6,000 years ago. But recent discoveries are pushing that date back, way back. Take Göbekli Tepe in modern-day Turkey. This site, dating back over 11,500 years, is a complex of massive, intricately carved stone pillars arranged in circles. It was built by hunter-gatherers, people we once thought were incapable of such large-scale, organized construction. Göbekli Tepe proves that sophisticated ritual and social organization existed thousands of years earlier than previously believed. It's a game-changer. If people 12,000 years ago could build Göbekli Tepe on a hilltop, what might they have built on fertile coastal plains that are now deep underwater? It forces us to reconsider the possibility of a lost maritime civilization, one whose cities and knowledge were washed away by the end of the Ice Age. So, where does this leave us? Was Atlantis a real place? Perhaps the answer isn't a simple yes or no. The legend of Atlantis could be a composite memory, a story woven together from many different threads. It might contain echoes of the Minoan eruption, fragments of tales about coastal cities swallowed by rising seas at the end of the Ice Age, and a healthy dose of philosophical allegory from Plato himself. The story of Atlantis speaks to a deep human fascination with our own past, and the idea that there is more to our history than we know. It's a reminder of the fragility of civilization and the awesome power of nature. Whether it was a real city of gold and orichalcum, or a powerful myth, the search for Atlantis is really a search for ourselves, for a deeper understanding of where we came from and the forgotten chapters of our own story. The ocean still holds many secrets, and perhaps one day it will give up the truth about the lost city of Atlantis. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey into the deep. What do you think? Is Atlantis a myth, a memory, or something still waiting to be discovered? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this exploration of ancient mysteries, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you won't miss our next adventure. See you next time.